forgery. So they must
some candidates that were fielded.
Yes, they forged a court seal and all that. They must first clear their names. All these stories, Apapa is trying to withdraw, when they know in their heart that there is no plan to withdraw anything. It's just a way of make look like, he's working for the APC. But FPC, I've said it, any party that is coming up will have crisis. It's a contest for power. APC has had its own crisis. Oshomole was chased away. Aburi is not the first national chairman to face crisis. In the PDP, what's his name? Ayu is facing his own...
Serious one. He has been suspended now.
Yes. So, address the issues
on ground.
Stop concocting stories that, he wants to withdraw. Withdraw what? To what end?
And the man has said, no, there's not such thing.
No, it was apparently concocted. He is saying that, look, in his desire to reclaim his mandate that was freely given to us on February 25. I'm quoting him. It's not as if I agree or I believe that there's a mandate to claim. You understand? You came third in the contest now. That is. But if you think you have a mandate to claim, good luck to you.
Go to court.
Good luck to you. By the fact that I see that I have, you didn't win the election.
Ab initio.
You know, in the Federal University of Health Sciences, the David Umahi Federal University of Health Sciences, I met a man who was coming out of the lift. He said, Abajide, you are so good at what you do. The only thing I don't like is that you don't like Peter Obi. I said, who told you I don't like Peter Obi? Who told you I don't like Peter Obi? I said, the only difference, the only thing that you can say is that I do not agree that he won the election. That's the only thing. I don't hate him.
That's another argument.
Yes. So he said you even swore that it was Tinubu that won the election. I said, yes. It's my swearing, not your own now. I said, Okija is located in the southeast. Let us go there and see whether I will not swear. He said, when I'm sure of something, there is no length that I can't go. Let us see if when we get there, you will be able to swear in Okija. So he just left me and walked away. So this is the thing. We are not saying, look, you won the election, but we imagine that you won't have crisis. A party that is already prominent at this stage, a party that went to election, won 15 states and the FCT, which by the letters of the Constitution is 16 states. Section 299 of the Constitution refers to Abuja as a state. So they want 16 states. You think you won't have crisis? Didn't APC have their own? Didn't PDP have their own? Even this Labour Party, this is not the first crisis that they will have. Labour Party has been having crisis for so long. That is how the idea of Zenith Labour Party came forward.
Yes.
Because they broke away from the old... they broke away from the so what is the thing? What is the issue?
You just put Zenith.
There are issues. They said that there is forgery. I can hear that. Clear your name. And I've advised Peter Obi. I said, look, you are the leader of the party. Call these people together. Resolve this matter amicably. We don't need all the lies
some candidates that are not meant to be fielded in the last election.
Yes, that they wangle them in.
Yes.
Without following due process. Defend that.
And those
we don't need propaganda. We don't need
to prove it in court.
We are journalists. We are interested in the truth. We don't need propaganda. If nobody has no plan to withdraw a matter, what are you trying to say?
I said it several times.
Let them. For me, I'm even anxious. I want to see how the matter will be decided. I don't want anybody to withdraw. Or punish anybody that withdraws. Let us see how it will end.
Yes, at the end of the day.
We are not interested in that.
Judiciary.
Let them slug it out.
As we waited for the outcome of the election, same thing.
Why are you coming? We don't need propaganda. We don't need propaganda. Let us address the issue. But the best thing for you is for Obi to call everybody together. He has the clout. He's the leader of the party in a way.
To save that party from sinking.
Yeah, call them and say, gentlemen, we are supposed to be happy that we performed this well in this election. Let us come together. This is not the time to quarrel. We want to change the nation. We want to reclaim our mandate. So let's come together and reclaim that mandate. Don't be so. In Wike's voice. Not be so. So you just tell them, let us come together and claim our mandate.
As we say, it's what we said that we will listen to.
Okay. Moving on now. President Muhammadu Buhari has asserted that opposition parties failed to win the February 25 presidential election because of overconfidence, complacency, and bad tactical moves. According to Garba Shehu, the senior special assistant to the president on media and publicity, Buhari said they were already telling their foreign backers that they would defeat APC, whereas the ruling party blended confidence with caution, worked hard, and won the presidential. The president charged the all progressive Congress governors, that's the progressive governors, to stick together and openly address issues among themselves. Julie, wow, President Buhari coming all out here to tell us what some of us did not know about the last election, that some of these parties were already telling their foreign backers that they had foreign backers, yes, that they would defeat APC.
You know,
whereas the ruling party,
the president said they were overconfident. I think to a large extent he was right.
Yes.
I expected the opposition to sacrifice and defeat the APC. I've seen it done in many African countries. Opposition comes together to wrest power.
That's what APC did in 2015.
Eh? No, these ones came together. There's a difference in that. These ones, in 2015, they came together to form a party. The parties will be there, what I'm talking about. It's not as if they come together to form a party. No.
Alliance.
Like the one or your state that brought him out today.
Coalition.
You just work together.
Yes.
I've seen in some African countries where they took power by those parties agreeing to work together. In this case, everybody thought it could defeat the APC, the ruling party.
Yes.
It's such a shame that Peter Obi and Kwankwaso could not come together
for that alliance.
Yes. Even if even if it was too late for them to merge as a party,
formally,
by law, it was too late. But they could work together.
Working arrangements.
In some of those African countries I'm talking about where this has happened, they didn't have to merge officially the way APC did in 2014. No. But they agreed to work together. And look, this is what we are going. We see even in Nigeria, in governorship election, we see them do it now.
Yeah.
The understanding will be there that, okay, in this election, this is the party that we will go to. Everybody will go in that direction. It happens. But these people are too selfish, too hungry for power that they refuse to work together.
Everybody wanted to have a say.
Kwankwaso, when they even asked Kwankwaso in the UK, what's that place? Chatham House. He even got angry. When they asked him why is he not working with Peter Obi to remove the APC from power, he got angry. Go and listen to that thing again. I'm like, this is not enough to get angry now. Abba.
He said he's older. He said he was more experienced and everything. And at the end of the day, he was able to prove that he's the kingpin of Kano.
Yes. He
And
limited himself to Kano. Limited himself to Kano.
And
We give
this
him
is part
credit
of
for the
part of people's
You can
Democratic
imagine
Party.
if he worked with Peter Obi, for example, if they
Yes.
came together, even those votes that will have been higher. Because Obi supporters would know
Yes,
that they are all
Sabongiri.
voting.
Yes, and everywhere.
You know,
Would have
so
voted for
then some of the votes that were wasted, literally wasted, that went to Kwankwaso in some states like Jigawa, you know, like Taraba, they will have gone to the Obi Kwankwaso ticket. I was thinking that there was a smoking gun there. I was thinking that it could happen. But somehow, I guess, I cannot agree to be vice presidential candidate to anyone. Look, you too. If you will not agree to be vice presidential candidate, me too. I will not agree to be. This is what led to this whole thing. You look at Atiku. Atiku never campaigned even close to the level that Tinubu campaigned.
Yep.
The places Tinubu out visited Nigeria. He has visited them. How can I call that word? In terms of the number of states he visited,
the frequency. Look at the time he went to
trumped,
Kano.
He trumped
the number
them.
of times.
Yes, in Kano he must have gone to Kano like 4 times.
It was just.
He trumped them in terms of the number of Nigerian cities that he visited. If you are desperate for power, should the candidate of the ruling party be campaigning more than you? Be outdoing?
So visible, so hardworking. Town hall meeting.
He flogged his body thoroughly. Now, when you look at what the president was saying, and you look at what transpired, if Obi and had worked together,
oh no,
that's 14 million votes.
Oh, that would have been a
14 million votes will have thoroughly defeated Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Straight up.
They were not prepared to do that.
Straight up.
The only reason Atiku didn't win this election, was because Obi contested.
Yep.
Because all of those places that Obi won,
traditional.
there is not one of those states that PDP was not traditionally winning. None. You go to Kaduna, where he did well, they got 21% in Kaduna. Where he did well is the usual stronghold of the PDP. He won Plateau. Plateau has always been a PDP state. Always. In fact, they've always won the presidential election in Plateau. PDP has always won it. You know? Why did Lalong win? Was it not because of quarrel?
Yes. Jack went to go and bring his son-in-law.
He said, look, you can't impose him. So let's face it. It is Atiku's votes that Obi took away. PDP used to win the election in FCT. Aduda is the sitting senator there. He's from the PDP. So it's not new. There is nowhere, I repeat, nowhere that, what's it called? That the PDP, the bulk of, I think apart from Lagos. But even then, I won't even say apart from Lagos, because PDP has won Lagos before.
Yes.
PDP won Lagos in 2011.
For Jonathan. Yeah.
For Jonathan. So it's not even, so there is nowhere that Obi won that the PDP has not won before. That is a fact. Now, if they had worked together, Ayo, that's 14 million votes. That's what the president was saying directly.
Simple.
And when he was talking about, maybe that they were overconfident and that they were assuring, when he was talking about foreign backers, all those people doing opinion poll,
yes,
and saying that Obi would defeat Kwankwaso in Kano. What were those ones smoking? Obi will defeat Kwankwaso in Kano. Look at the percentage they gave him. One day we will talk about those opinion polls one after another. You know? So they could have done better. I think, Ayo, do you know that? When they say, this election, but do you know that in Kaduna, only one local government, the whole of Kaduna state? Do you know the local government in one? Buhari. That was the local government visited that night. That people said, you risk your life to come, even the traditional ruler.
Dangerous place.
Yes. That's the only local government in one in the state. And you are still saying the election is bad. The election is the candidate of the ruling party with the governor of Kaduna there. Now, so Rufai, Tinubu only won one local government.
Convincingly.
Yes. Others, no way. You know, so it's I think in future opposition parties must brush aside their selfishness and be able to say, look, we want to take over. No sacrifice too big to make. So in future we should be able to see someone like Obi saying, okay, I step down. Or Kwankwaso, who eventually won only one state, to say, look, you are stronger than me. You have capacity to do better than me. I consider I will be your deputy. It should happen.
Looking at what Mr. President said, his analysis, do you agree with?
Yes, Jide has already talking about the overconfidence part. So I'll take the complacency. Basically, and that's key to what really happened. Because no serious party going to an election will allow 5 of his governors to be frontal in the attack on the party's candidates. And that to me is a sign of complacency.
5
governors decided to fight.
I just got court injunction after the election to vacate that position pending the time. Can you imagine something that
you will have worked long ago and still have the decency around the party's candidate. Of course, the party's candidate itself is flawed because it's a full animal trying to take over a full animal in a multi-ethnic nationality like Nigeria. But having said that, they still will have won if they have not decided that they can do without certain parts of the country and they can do without certain governors. And this to me is one of the reasons why they failed. Because if you look at what happened in Oyo State, Oyo State is a PDP state. The governor is a PDP man. But on the day of the election, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu won, and his party won convincingly across board. Across board. In some states, the president candidate will lose. The senator will win. Will get 36,000 votes. The president candidate will get 16,000 votes. But in Oyo State, it was total and comprehensive. Imagine Seyi Makinde working for an article.
Yes.
At that point in time.
They didn't handle their crisis well.
So it is the complacency of assuming that APC is bad, the money policy was bad, people are hurting, people are suffering. All the indicators.
No, that even whether Wiki and others work with me or not, I'm going to win.
Yeah,
I think that's the complacency.
So
that is complacency. Yes.
So that's complacency.
And that shows that, look, that kind of thing article shouldn't have even
an election year
at all.
Not an election that is competitive. You are talking about the election.
You lost Benue, Rivers, Enugu, what's the name of that? Abia, and Oyo.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, what did IU deliver for article?
Nothing. I think if they should have resolved those issues.
A serious party.
To learn from history. PDP faced a similar problem. 2015, and they lost power. You can't allow governors to go.
When Governor Wamako, the governor of Kwara State,
yes,
the governor of Rivers.
There are 5 of them too at that point in time.
Yes.
5 governors and some prominent guys, the likes of Atiku Abubakar and people, they walked out of the National Convention.
Yes.
And that was the end of the party.
Even the Jigawa party, the Jigawa governor.
Lamido.
He didn't leave the party, but he walked
Yes.
out. He walked out.
This person too. Niger, he walked out, but he eventually did not leave the party.
Mazu.
What's the name?
Babangida Mazu.
Babangida Aliyu.
Ali.
Aliyu.
So
It's dangerous in an election year to allow such a crisis.
there's nothing like a
And you
bad party.
stuck to your gun.
I
And
think they were confident that given the crisis the country was going through, that people will not vote for.
And I think they also had it in mind that the ruling party had performed so badly, Jire.
Yes,
as in economically, security-wise,
yes.
that nothing.
Of course, that was. Of course, that was also.
Nigerians were in pain.
Yes.
During the campaign.
But they also forgot that Asiwaju as a candidate had a good record, given what he had done in Lagos. That for that reason, that's the point. The PC had not made Nigerians happy, and that was why, for the first time in our history, we have the House of Reps. The ruling party did not score majority in the House of Reps. It's unheard of. But it happened in this election. Again, to tell you that election, February 25 election, is one of the best we've ever had. No matter, they will say it's the worst. But that's the election that took away the majority that APC used to have in the House of Reps. Today, the opposition parties are in the majority. When you put all their seats together, they are more than the APC. You know, that never happened. In fact, during the PDP time, they will have 2/3 already. Fresh from the election, they will have 2/3.
So that's why they made that law, that you cannot remove a speaker.
That where the Beavers did.
Unless you are saying that those who did the election are grossly
in the House of Reps, in the Senate, the thing was narrower.
Yes, 58.
You have a very
Narrower.
tiny majority.
They used to have
Out of 109.
outright. They used to have outright majority, outright, even 2/3. But here you are in the House of Reps. The ruling party does not have majority. It has never happened.
I have a feeling that immediately the court cases ends, people will now come to tell us the truth of what they truly feel about this election. I think a lot of people are gaslighting or grandstanding because they have issues. Maybe they are because they are biased. But I'm sure immediately the Supreme Court gave the final say on this election. All these things we are saying will now come from everybody. Because those who have benefited from this election will now want to validate their own election. But for now, it's not very popular with them because they must follow the party line that it was rigged. And that will be on for the next 2-3 months or thereabouts. But really after the president is fully in charge and is been validated by the Supreme Court, all these things we are saying will now be said across all spectrum.
Those who will continue to
sell the
make
lie.
this noise will continue.
If that's what they make their money from, I will not be
I
angry.
can guarantee that will happen. Peter Obi will not give up at this stage, because if he gives up, the momentum that he's enjoying, all the hoopla that he's enjoying will evaporate. So he will want to keep
The base.
yes, we want to keep the base, ensure that they are happy. You see, I've seen politicians told me that it's not as if he didn't know that he lost the election, but that he needs to make
This kind
these
of
people
noise.
happy. So he will tell them, no, I'm going to court, don't worry, we'll take it. He knows that he cannot take it back to the court, but he will continue to tell those
I'll take back
people
what
just
never
to keep them happy.
Like one party agent knew in that collation center that day that they've already lost the election. He was shouting, he was doing any sort of tactics to stop the collation. Meanwhile, in your situation room, they would have collated the 36
Yes.
and you'd have seen, man, we have to do something to stop.
No, even from the night of the election, from the situation room,
Yes,
from
that's
midnight
right.
on election day, from the situation room, most people knew who had won the election. Most people knew. All of what we are now seeing later is just the Nigerian way of responding to this.
Yes, now.
People knew from that the day of the
Went
election.
to the collation center, staged
All the
the
results are
walkout,
trickling
walked out
in.
with some other political party.
The reports were trickling in and
People were-
to
they
the
were
to
collating
the
and
collation
they were-
center, so they will know. It's just like Kaduna, for example. A
Agents.
friend of mine, and I think I've said it here, is an engineer. He's a coalition, I mean, he's an agent for the APC. He called me. He said, Jide, it's like APC has lost. He told me. And they had not announced the result. They had not announced, but he said, we lost it. We lost it. Another one called me to say, APC has lost Gombe. They had not announced at all. So they can monitor it. They can monitor. Your agents will be sending those reports. Okay, this is what we scored here. This is what we scored. Everyone can monitor. It's not through IREV alone that you can know how you perform in an election. Everybody, why do you have agents? Why do you have situation rooms?
Signed ones. Through
the situation rooms, even those off-season elections, we used to monitor them. We know who had won. So how is this one going to be different? I can tell you, people knew by midnight, by 2 a.m.
the morning
on election day, people already had an idea of who won the election. Already through their situation rooms, because they are posting results there real time, and they too are monitoring.
But to even buttress what you said, if truly they had won, with the level of social media survey that they had, the full results would be in the public space right now. But it's not. They keep telling us
to compute it. They try.
They ran aground.
They ran away at a point.
But when they saw the reality, they backed up.
And they started abusing the person who started it.
That's how it works. Because if they had the result would be available.
The guy was a hero when he started the thing. When he got to the point when
it was obvious.
It looks like this person is ahead, they started insulting him. He had to pull it down.
It was reported.
So that's how you know how things
We
work.
can write a book about what transpired in this election. All kinds of funny things.
So, at the end of the day, the lesson to be taken from this 2023 election, when we're kind of review here now and everything, it's a different norms. And it's not something that all our prediction went through. We could not envisage that APC will lose Lagos State, lose their normal strongholds, and Katsina State.
All the biggest states. APC lost all the biggest states.
And somehow they still find a way of coming second and strong
because
second.
Everywhere it was competitive. You don't have to win every state. That's what this election has shown.
Even the fallacy of those big states.
If you are competitive across board.
That's the word.
Take 2 here, take 3 here, take 2 here. It will position you in a way that will enable you to win. And don't also forget, Kano, the votes that Ashwaju got in Kano, where the performance of PDP in Kano was very poor.
Very poor.
So despite coming second, he was still able to give Atiku a big margin.
Imagine.
That margin that he gave him, Atiku was struggling to close it down.
He couldn't.
It was
just too wide.
Because by the time you now see the performance, again in the Southwest, the PDP's performance was very poor. Even in Lagos, Lagos was similar to Kano. The gap again, despite coming second, the gap between him and Atiku was also wide. And Atiku was the most likely person to come second to him. So he kept expanding. And where Atiku won in the Southwest, Osun, the margin was narrow, very narrow.
10,000.
Yeah.
So these are the difference makers. You defeat a man with only 2,000 votes here, 3,000 in some places, and then in some places more than 200,000, 300,000.
You're totally annihilated.
So you can actually, you don't have to. I think if you read what Professor Jega, his analysis of this election, how he compared it to the 1979 election, is very similar. The two elections are very similar because in those two elections, more than 2 parties did very well. GMPP did very well, Northeast, NPP dominated the Southeast, and UPN dominated the Southwest, PRP PRP took
Kano and Kaduna.
Kano and Kaduna. They didn't have many states in the northwest that time. Then, of course, the PRP dominated a lot of the northern states, like Niger, Bauchi, you know, in those days. So, and the victory was narrow. It was a narrow victory. So you don't have to win every state. Just stay competitive. Get close to the winner.
Once there are more than two
in your own places where you win, you'll be able to open a wide margin. You see what happened in the North Central. APC dominated North Central, winning 4 out of the 6 states. And the margins, especially against the PDP, were comfortable.
Especially in Kwara.
Comfortable. They won every local government in Kwara. And I remember when I was making the predictions, some people were sending messages that no, this governor cannot win. But sometimes people just want to mislead you. So I was looking at them. He won every local government. Every local government. He silenced Bukola Saraki and his people in that. And he repeated it in the governorship election. He not only in the presidential election, he won all the local government.
As of assembly election.
Then the governorship repeated the same
they were totally obliterated.
No, the same people were calling me to say, look, you didn't get it right. They've not called back since then.
Maybe they lost your number.
So for you, the lesson you got from the 2023 election?
Yeah, the lesson I got is that our democracy is moving in the right direction. But like I said earlier, all this will come out in full force after the Supreme Court judgment. Because we are going to spend quality time discussing the uniqueness of the 2023 elections in the next few years to come. Because this is going to be so unique because this is the first time since 1983 that we have a truly competitive election.
Yes, very competitive.
A party that will be
all the 3 top parties won the same number of states.
So you have to understand that we are moving in a direction that a lot of people will see it basically as a sign of our division. But I see it as a sign of our strength. Because what we need best is for people to know that their votes will count. Because in some states, it's not popular to Nigeria, even in the US. In some states, voting Democrats is a waste of time. Or voting Republicans is a waste of your votes. I think we are getting there in Nigeria now. That you know that your vote can actually make a difference in certain states that you assume are locked up for certain candidates within the realms of a possibility. So what I take away from this are 2. 1, our democracy is growing, and 2, it will enforce the reality that no more can anybody just project that whatever they say will go. Now you have to work for your money, you have to work hard for your votes. Governors who normally under circumstances will just cross their legs and go to bed once they have the ticket, come out and spend dollars. Some have to go to church and become ushers. Just to make sure that in the old days they don't even have to. I know some governors who never bothered to even visit.
People decided their fate.
Yeah, because it got to a point that governors didn't bother to even see their campaign people. They assumed it was not important. That they have the ticket, just go there and prepare for my inauguration or my coronation, as the case may be. But this election has exposed that lie. Now governors have to go out of their way to make a difference. And that to me is the fallout that is fundamental in this election. Because once you know, and finally, our young ones, their interest in this election is phenomenal. And I'll pray that they will continue to move out. And so in another 2-3 electoral cycle, it's not the old people that will be determining where we go. It's the vote of the youth that will determine the direction of our country.
And especially to southern part of the country.
No, I'm talking about everywhere.
We have across the country.
Yeah, because those who are making us proud all over the country. Whether in music or in politics or in business, they're all over the country. They're all young men and women.
And finally, a high court sitting in Obi, a local government in Nasarawa State, has sentenced a senior lecturer of the Federal University of Lafia, that's Fred Ekpe Ayokai, to 6 months imprisonment. This followed an agreement for a plea bargain by the lecturer and compensation to be paid to the victim, Ms. Blessing Matthias. Godwin Agwon reports.
In 2022, Nigerians were inundated with a viral video indicating an assault on Blessing Matthias by a senior lecturer of the Federal University of Lafia, Fred Ekpe Ayoke, and his children. The lecturer and his children were afterwards arrested and prosecuted at the State High Court in Obi, a local government in Nasarawa State. In his judgment, the presiding judge, Justice Solomon Ainaji, convicted Mr. Ayoke and sentenced him to 6 months imprisonment for criminal conspiracy and to another 6 months for physical assault. The court agreed that both sentences will run concurrently in consideration of his plea, and that the 6 months period spent at the custodian center will be reckoned with. 6 months probation for the children and tax the premises of the High Court and to also be of good behavior.
The defendants pleaded guilty to the offense, and having pleaded guilty to the offense, Dr. Fred was now convicted based on the plea agreement for the 6 months for conspiracy and 6 months for housebreak for assault. That's totally 12 months in reality, but the 6 months are to run concurrently.
The lecturer also agreed to an undisclosed amount as compensation for the victim. We visited the home of Ms. Blessing Matthias, where she resides with her friends in Lafia, which was where the incident occurred.
Good afternoon. My name is Godwin Abraham from TBC News. I'd like to just have a little chat with you.
Blessing Matthias is an orphan who dropped out of the Taraba State Polytechnic following her inability to continue the payment of her school fees. Who is 20 years and the first of 3 girls, lost her mother in 2018 and her father to kidnappers in 2019. She narrates her ordeal after the ugly incident which occurred in October 2022.
It really affects me as a person. If I'm passing, people looking at me. Like, at times, I just feel as if God should just take my life. If not for my auntie, I could have not get myself today. Because when I was in Abuja with her, at times I would sit down, to even come online, I'll be receiving insults from different people, both people that will compensate me, both people that will be pleading with me I should be some, haters they dislike. So some will be insulting. If I'm walking on the road, people will be pointing finger on me. Even up to now, things like that are still going on.
Blessing says she has forgiven her detractors, but yet to get any offer for compensation.
I think March of February, that was when they asked me to come to Obi. I went there, I just met them. The lady was just crying, saying I should please forgive her. And I said, it's fine, it's no, I don't have anything. Like, I didn't know in my mind, it's okay. Judgment is not enough for me, there has been more than that. And for him saying he will compensate me, I haven't seen anything. I haven't received a dime from anybody.
Other neighbors and eyewitnesses share their view on the judgment.
For me, it's not okay, because let us forget about her. Because even us, her friends, we went through a lot. Like, they even scatter our phones, the window, they break all those glasses there. And the day we're just running about that day. Because even my friend said was having an exam that they said she no write exam because of what happened. They even hit me stick on my back. We stayed at the hospital with her for like 2 days. And her video is everywhere, her nude.
Efforts made to reach out to the convicted lecturer and his lawyer proved abortive. And text messages were sent to both parties, but they were not willing to grant us audience. The State Attorney General gives further interpretation to the legal implications of being convicted.
The Constitution places restriction on persons who may have been convicted by a court of law for crimes of this nature to run for offices, public offices. So, by being convicted, it's a lifetime ban. A person has been branded. And the implication would now mean that getting employed or appointed for any position of trust or any position for public